Lesson on backward design as explained by Jennifer Sims. That's me. Backward design is a method used to plan active learning that is approached exactly as it sounds, backwards. Instead of a traditional approach where the teacher or educator begins with the lesson topic, then creates content, plans, and activities, and finally develops the assessment to measure what has been learned. Backward design begins at the end by asking designers to determine what the goal of the lesson is, or what is the desired outcome of this training. That's the foundation. We then move into measuring how you will know if that goal is achieved, what's the evidence, and finally, curate the appropriate learning activities that will allow for the learner to gain the skills, practice, and knowledge necessary to achieve that desired outcome. Let's try it out by using an example, teaching a dog to sit. Before we begin the design process, we need to know who our audience is. In this case, our audience is, well, anyone who owns a dog that doesn't know how to sit. This could be any number of people, kids, teenagers, adults, anyone who is a new to them dog owner. Maybe some are prior dog owners, others may be completely new to owning a dog, so it's kind of a mixed lot. The common denominator is someone who has a dog and that dog does not currently sit on command. That's our audience. Continuing our example, let's take a look at the first part of backward design. Identify our desired outcomes. In other words, what are the learning goals? Seems obvious, but our desired outcome is for the dog to sit. Well, not just to sit, but rather sit on command every time. This is the goal. Interestingly enough, in this example, our second step in backward design, determining acceptable evidence, is also the act of the dog sitting on command. Acceptable evidence can't simply be the dog sitting once on command. The dog needs to demonstrate the behavior of sitting each time the owner gives the command, regardless of time, location, or any other factor. The key evidence here is if the dog sits each time the command is given in a variety of situations. That's how we'll know the outcome is achieved. This brings us to our final stage of backward design, planning the learning experiences and instruction. In other words, how are we going to build the learning to achieve our desired outcome? In our example, you could get knowledge and insight by watching videos, reading books or internet posts on dog training from the best dog whisperers out there. But when it comes to truly training your dog, there's no other option than to actually spend the time practicing.
There's a saying in dog training circles that it's never the dog that has difficulty learning. It's the owners having to change their behavior that's the challenge.
Training an animal requires consistency, and that behavior requires practice and intentional commitment. The actual training of a dog to sit on command isn't that complicated if the owners are consistent. Our learning needs to be designed in order to provide a lot of opportunities for owners to practice the process so their behavior becomes a habit. Our learning design in this case should include synchronous, asynchronous, and feedback or coaching scenarios to fully be effective. These activities may include interactive groups for problem solving, demonstrations, practice, and present knowledge about the steps to train your dog through various media, as well as tasks designed to give opportunities to independently practice that process. Until finally, after lots of repetition and treats, owners at any time and any place should be able to confidently say, "Fluffy, sit." So the short of it is that backward design allows us to develop and design our training beginning with the desired outcome and work backwards. It's an effective way to ensure the means truly lead to the optimal end. And that is backward design.